knock, draw, loose. And with that, let's add a custom bow to Minecraft. If you want to go deeper, the 26.x modding courses are linked down below. 30 plus hours covering complex block entities with fluid and energy handling, custom mobs, custom networking, and even custom biomes and dimensions. Everything you need for 26.x, all in one place, linked down below in the description. Alright, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more, and in this tutorial we'll be adding a custom bow to Minecraft. However, I will already say this is a semi-two-parter. Now, here in this first tutorial, we're going to add the custom bow, we're going to register it, we're going to probably add the data gen and all of that, and then there's going to be one tiny thing that is not going to work, and that is the FOV changes, because we're going to do that in the next tutorial, because that's going to be sort of a general lesson on events as well, and I wanted to put those two together. So just be aware of that those are basically, it's kind of a two-parter-ish, let's say. Regardless, we're going to start with the bow, and the bow itself is very straightforward actually, with once again only like two tiny things that are, well, you have to take a look and look out for, that are a little bit different when it comes to data gen. But generally speaking, at this point, I think that you could possibly actually add the bow yourself as well. Now we're of course once again going to add the Kaupenjoe, because I'm not coming up with anything else over here. This is just what we need to do. And this is of course equal to a new bow item. And here we need to, instead of stacking it to 1, we actually want to give it this durability, which will automatically make it stack to 1. And that's going to be, let's say, 500 over here. If you want to change anything in the bow, let's say you wanted to shoot different projectiles, maybe you wanted to use different ammunition or anything like that, I highly recommend you control left click or middle mouse button click on the bow item and then the project weapon item classes. So both of those, you can see, for example, here, there's a predicate where is arrow only. So this predicate right here, which is used somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure. There we go, in the get all supported projectiles right here. This is, I believe, where you would change it to what the item stack is that you could use. So for that, you would need to make a custom bow item. So simply a custom item that extends the bow item, and then override, in this case, the get all supported projectiles method. And of course, you can do also, you can override any of the other methods as well. Highly recommended to take a look at both of these different classes. Do note that if you want a completely different projectile, that is slightly more complicated, because the projectile itself is a projectile entity. So that is actually going to be a kind of like a mob in that sense. So that makes it slightly more complicated to actually add. Like a custom projectile entity is a little bit more complicated. Regardless of that though, that is the bow added, and let's go from top to bottom. First of all, adding it to the creative mode tab, and then going to data gen over here, where we want to I don't think there is a bow. Is there like a bow enchantable? Well, I mean, we do want it to be bow enchantable, so I guess we do need to add the bow to the bow enchantable right here. So that is an item tag that we definitely should add. Now, when it comes to the data gen or the model generation, how is this going to look like? It's probably going to be super complicated. No, actually, quite the opposite. There is, however, like I said, a small thing that is quite important. When we call, so first of all, we want to do item models dot generate. We want to do the create flat item. That's super important. Item models, create flat item. And then this is going to be mod items dot Kaupenjoe dot get. And then the second one is the model template, model templates of bow right here. But that's not everything. We also want to call item models dot generate bow over here. Mod items dot Kaupenjoe dot get. Why do we need both? I'm still not sure 100%, but for some reason we need both to once. I think it's like the normal bow item, that basically the normal bow if nothing happens, and then the generate bow does all of the rest with the pulling stuff over here. So that would be the ones where you hold the right click and it changes the texture of the bow itself, both in your hand as well as inside of the inventory. But those are the two things that we need to call. Very important. It's not the generate flat item. It is the create flat item model here, and then the generate bow method. So those two right here in this case. And then it's actually all about just the rest of the assets. Starting, of course, with the translation, very straightforward. And then there are 4 textures, I want to say. Yes, there's the Kaupenjoe as well as underscore pulling 0, 1, and 2. So these are the different quote-unquote stages that the pulling goes through. So you can see this is the normal bow, and then when you start right-clicking, it changes the texture from, you know, from this one to this one to this one to this one on different timescales, which are defined inside of the items JSON file. We'll see that in a second. But yeah, if you want more, you know, changes over here, different pulling, things like that, you can definitely do that. However, do note that then I highly recommend what you do is you go into the generate bow item method over here, and you can actually take a look at the ranges over here. So you can see if we're at, you know, 5% of the use duration, then we're getting to pulling 0. If we're at 65%, we're using pulling 1, and then at 90%, we're at pulling 2. So in theory, you should be able to really easily adapt this if you want to have more types of overrides and ranges and things like that. I don't think that that would be insane to add over here in this case. And also you can theoretically look at the crossbow immediately below that. So I think you have ample examples over here, and it should be possible to deal with that. With that being said, that is actually the bow added. So let's first of all run the data, and then we're going to also see the items JSON file just for completion's sake over here. Basically, as you can see, it's not as crazy, but the idea is that it once again uses a condition, this time with a range over here. And the range basically is going to check the using item, right? So the first thing obviously is like, are we even using the item? If we're not, then just display the normal Kaupenjoe. However, if we are using the item, well, then we're on true, and we're then looking at the property over here for the use duration. So the use duration, once again, is defined over here as we hold right-click down. So that would be the, I believe, use method over here. And if it's held down, it basically sort of ticks up, and that is the whole idea here. And then, you know, at some point the scale, you know, if it's like 5%, then there we go. And then here, the other entries are basically, if we are at 65%, then we use the pulling 1. And if we're at 90%, then we use the pulling 2. That's the whole idea in this case. And that's basically how it works. So with that being said, let's jump to the game and see if it works. All right, fans, we're back in Minecraft. And let's first of all remind ourselves what the bow looks like. You can see both in the hand as well as the inventory, the texture. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, when you use the normal bow and you right click, you can see that it changes both the texture in the inventory as well as in the hand. And if you let it go, then it basically, well, it works exactly how you would expect a bow to work. However, you also can see the little zoom effect that happens. And if we use our custom bow, then you will find that the texture changes, right, in both the hand as well as the inventory. However, there is no zoom that you have right here. So you can see that the zoom effect does not in fact work. Now, why is that the case? Because we're not actually changing the FOV, because that's done via the bow registered item and not via, let's say, the bow item class. We'll see that, like I said, in the next tutorial, where we're gonna basically deep dive not only into doing this and adding the FOV, but generally speaking into events as well. But there we have it. That is a custom bow for the time being added to Minecraft. Awesome. And that's gonna be it for this tutorial right here. Don't forget you get 14 days of early access if you join as a Stonebricks member on YouTube, which will also include this next video about finishing the bow and custom events. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.